Hello everyone, this is Tech Urvashi. Welcome back to another bootcamp. I'll share my screen. Okay, so I hope you all are doing great. Also, if someone is joining now or someone after this live has ended, okay. So, like I always say, feel free to put it in the comment whatever topic you have doubt with related to MERN or Gen AI, of course, okay. And anything in terms of AI, you have any doubt, you can just feel free to put it in the chat box, in the comment section, okay. So today's topic is very interesting, okay. That is AI full stack roadmap, right? But we will not directly deep dive into the roadmap. Before that, I really want you to understand how AI has evolved in terms of learnings, okay. And also, if you want to build, like, you'll see this buzz, right? Even if you're someone who live in India or outside India, any company, any edtech company, top edtech company you talk about, or you talk about any university, or you talk about any institutional system, you'll see they are majorly selling two courses, okay. So I'll just note it, okay. So majorly two courses are being sold. One is data science, okay, if you want to build your career into tech, of course, okay. One is data science and the other one is obviously going to be software engineering, okay. And software engineering, I'll say, they might teach you MERN stack, they might teach you uh, Maven, they might teach you Mean, or they might teach you front end plus backend with any of the Java or Spring Boot or Python, okay, Django basically. So backend can change, but the whole idea is this, okay. You maybe you are someone who's studying in India or outside India, it's the same that you get, okay. So whole idea is if you have to learn MERN in 2026 or you have to learn something in software engineering to be very specific, then what you need to learn, okay, what is the correct path. And nowadays, okay, I'll also talk about just a observation that I have seen because I'm into this business from a long time into edtech, right? There are a few things that I've observed over the time, okay. Like if you, when it was 2020, right, around 2019 to 20, what used to happen, if you want to get a job, right, let's say considering in software engineering, right, so even if you know one tech stack, it would do wonders for you, okay. Like generally, when you generally for a fresher, you get placements from a college, okay. And of course there are different target audience. If you are someone who is a graduate from BTech background or or let's say BTech in computer science, okay, then generally you get placements from the college itself, okay. But then, of course, if you are someone who is switching their career from non-tech to tech, right, then that is the target audience where they are majorly confused, right? So these are the two courses hot selling in every part of the world: data science and software engineering. If you want to build a career into tech, okay, so that is what either you pick and then you build start your career into tech, okay. So when you're switching from non-tech to tech, so back in 2019 to 20, what used to happen, if you just know one good programming language, let's say you know Java, you know Python, you know C++, C Sharp, any, okay, you just need to be very good at it and used to get the placement. Okay, you used to get the job. And that time, to be honest, there were very less people who were switching their career from non-tech to tech. If I talk about back in 2019 to 2020. Okay. But then of course, after that, if I say after the COVID wave came and everything, so after I'll say 2022, okay. If you just know front end as in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React, any of the front end framework became a requirement. Okay. So till here, any programming language it was good to go, any programming language, okay. But then came your, after the 2022, it was required if you know front end, it's very good to go, okay, good to go, but you need to know a bit of backend as well, okay. That was the requirement. So, and where it impacts, and it impacts on your packages, okay. So if you're some person who is getting a, let's say, on an average in India, if you're talking about, okay, if you're getting 4 to 5 average package of this, and if you know something which is, let's say, React framework, right, so easily with any framework you used to get 8 to 9 or 8 to 10 LPA, okay. That is how it used to be back in 2019 to 20. But after 2022, what happened? That if you, like front end HTML, CSS, JS is a bare minimum you should know, right? Or any of the front end framework. So if you know the frameworks and all, then your package was around 5 6 average. I'm again talking about, okay. And then after that, it switched from, and if you someone know backend, for those people the package will be around 10 to 12 LPA, okay. So the evolution in terms of tech stack is already happening, okay. It's not, of course, when AI has come, things has changed a bit, or rather I'll say a lot. But if you look at the pattern, it's very much the same, okay. Like here, this is the package you get if you know one programming language, then you're going to this 8 to 9 LPA if you know framework. But after 2022, again you're going from average package is 5 to 6 if you know front end, and then if you know plus back end, okay, then your package will directly go from 10 to 12, okay. Again, I'll mention it's again according to Indian stats and average package I'm talking about. Of course, there could be a specific student getting a higher package as well, okay. But then now after 2000 and I'll say 25, what happened, okay, AI has boomed, okay. AI has boomed and everyone is talking about AI. Even edtech, see, I also come from edtech background. I'm working in the same field from a longer time, and I've worked with 24 plus edtech companies nationally and internationally till now. And of course, I have observed the pattern, and this is the pattern which I've observed, and it is working like that, okay. So what has actually changed and what has put pressure on a fresher in today's time is basically they are expected to learn front end also now. Like in 2025 now, what they need to do is if they are building career into, let's say, software engineering again, okay. For data science, of course, there will be a different roadmap. I'm just talking in terms of software engineering, okay. So they need to know front end, okay. They need to know back end. This is what is expected. They need to know backend. Okay. Now, plus they need to know JNA integrations as well. That is what has changed. Okay. So, and this is not something I'll say a new thing has is there, right? You see the pattern. It's there from longer time also. Even here, like 2019 and 20, you need to know some programming language in terms of you're able to build apps. Back in 2000 and I'll say 15 or 16, if I talk about 15, 16, basic your university UGC aggregated subjects like as basic SQL operating system and a small like basic programming fundamentals. If you know about a programming language, you used to get placement here, okay. So now it changed to a one good programming language with projects, plus if you have a knowledge in framework, that is how the packages has or things changed, okay. Just pardon my handwriting, sometimes it's very bad, okay, sometimes. And then after 22, what happens, someone need to know, if someone know front end, they're good to go. If they know back end, then their package will be more. But after 25 now, someone learning, or let's say especially this target audience who are switching their career from non-tech to tech, okay, majorly this target audience, plus anyone who is coming from a good, now again college also, it depends. You come from tier 1 city, tier 2 city, tier 3 city, things changes for you, okay. So I'll rather not put it as IIT or NITs and those type of colleges, but rather I'll put tier wise, because nowadays these companies, top tech companies, are collaborating with colleges. They are providing certifications as well, right? So that you have some edge in terms of learnings, okay. So today, in today's time, it's not just you have done the BTech and you'll get the job. It's the skills that matter, okay. So now what has happened, now as a fresher you need to know front end plus back end plus AI, okay. That has changed, okay. So this is one perspective to it, okay. How, like in today's time, if you have to learn, like why it is needed to learn AI full stack or anything with AI, okay. Second thing is people who are already working professional, okay. For the people who are already working professional, who are already working, okay, what they need to do, okay. Now that is also important, okay. If they are already working, okay, I have seen, because I interact with so many people every day, right? They take their mock, I teach them, I teach them Gen integrations, okay. I prepare them for the interviews and everything. So of course I teach some lateral students as well, some freshers as well, okay. So what I've observed, that a lot of people who are, let's say, into data science, or maybe someone who is into mobile development, okay, I've seen them switching literally from, because like I said, these are the two top courses which averagely, if I talk about, people are selling out. Companies, university, India, outside India, everywhere. Okay, so they, I've seen them switching from, they're doing well in their job, and just for the sake of, because people feel like it's easy to integrate AI in web development or something, they're switching. But you guys really don't have to. If you are from mobile app development, just see how you can integrate GenAI in that. That's it. Just see whatever you do, and GenAI can be integrated everywhere. Even a salesperson, automations, marketing, every field. Okay, you come from any background of technical, non-technical, GenAI can be there. Okay, so you just see whatever background of tech stack you come from, or if you're already working professional, just see how you can integrate AI in that. Like you come from mobile, you come from web app development, maybe you come from desktop app development, it could be anything. Okay, or you come from some marketing field. Okay, you come from some manufacturing field. Okay, you can come from some construction related thing. Okay, it could be anything. Just see how you can integrate AI. Okay, and AI is also very vast. Okay, like there are two parts to it. One, you are a GenAI user, you use AI tools every day, okay, or you are a GenAI builder, okay. Now that is also a different debate altogether, or a topic or a session together, okay. Like if I talk about myself, I'm both. Like I do use AI for building the material, the content, right? For example, today's PPT I created using Gamma, using AI tool, right? Of course, but I did set the context, which what content or what context I need on each slide. That is what I decided, of course. But otherwise, it was so easy. I just need to decide the context. I just need to decide the colors. Okay, I just need to decide. I have to put my brand name. That's it. Okay, so I did use AI tool. The second part is I since I'm into trainings, I teach students GenAI integrations. Okay, so GenAI builder is the second part. So I do both, right? But maybe someone coming from a non-tech background, they could be just AI user, but you have to do something. It could be AI builder user. Something has to be there. Okay, in 2026. Okay, so that is how things has changed. That's why it is demanded from a fresher. You have to learn everything. Okay, and I totally agree with the fact that it put a lot of pressure. Sometimes someone who is a fresher, like for example, someone did learn in 2024, they learned front end and back end, right? Now they are confused. Like, do I need to learn GenAI? Definitely, you will have to. Okay, if you want to now. If now it depends, if you want to be just average, like earning let's say 10 to 12, or you want to go 20 to 25 LPA easily. Okay, so AI engineer, Gen AI engineer, automation engineer, there's so many fields. If you learn Gen AI, so many designations are there. Okay, and demand of AI engineers is there. Okay, and it's going to be there for the next coming years. Okay, so that is the whole idea. Now I'll just open this. Okay, okay, so this is, like of course to, now I'll be, so this is something I just wanted to set the context about. Okay, now I'll be discussing in this detail how to be a AI full stack developer in that. Okay, and again, if you want, I can do a separate session on data science if you want. Okay, I do have knowledge, a bit of knowledge about that as well, of course. So we can have a separate session, but today I'll keep it around AI full stack development only. Okay, all right. Okay, so first of all, the AI revolution is here. So basically, like I said, either you become a AI builder or you become a AI user. Okay, but you need to learn AI. Okay, and I say this to everyone, even if you're from tech background, non-tech background, you have to. Okay, otherwise you will at any some point of time you'll be lacking behind with others, right? So that's why it's important. Okay, and today's time, of course, if you guys have heard of vibe coding, is very popular. Okay, like I'll give a good example of it. For example, you can just go to ChatGPT or Gemini. You can just ask it to create one markdown file with all the instructions, like how you want to build a full stack app. Let's say I want to build a simple e-commerce website, okay, or I want to build a basic gaming website. Okay, so I'll just create one markdown file. Okay, which we call as readme file basically. Okay, with all the instructions, I'll just pass this to codex agent. Okay, and it will literally build app. It will deploy it for me. It will do everything for me. Okay, maybe some other session will take this, but just to give you guys an example, that this is how things have changed and evolved. Like you don't have to write the code from scratch. Okay, so one side of AI is that you don't have to build for something from everything from scratch in today's time. Okay, that is one perspective to it. Does that mean that you don't have to learn? Of course, you have to learn these skills, because if you have to do debugging, if you have to do feature enhancement, you want to let's say build something over the top of it, or you want to make some changes to it, or you just have to fix something on the spot, right? You will have to have that knowledge. Okay, that is obviously very important. So one part of it, that things has changed in AI, that you don't have to build apps from scratch, no matter any app, like mobile development app, desktop, or I'll say web development, any app you don't have to develop from scratch, right? So that is something, one part has changed. Okay, so that is how AI is bringing the revolution. Okay, so I've written here like text form, but I'll be explaining it. Okay, you guys can go back and give you guys PPT and everything. Now to get access to this PPT and notes, you guys can join my WhatsApp community. Okay. So link is in the description. So there you will get access to all the material, all the boot camps or the live session that I take. Like on Sunday, we'll have another session on the like AI integration. Okay, we will build a small automated application. Okay, so you guys can join that, and then you can get latest updates as well. Okay. Now, next thing is how things has changed. Okay, after the AI. So, like I said, you don't have to build the apps from scratch. AI is doing it for you. Okay, so what will be your role then? Okay, because if AI is doing something, then what is your requirement? Like what you need to learn. Okay, so earlier it was required that you have to write the code from scratch. You have to connect the APIs, and you have to deploy your application. Okay, or you have to ship features. That is what was demanded earlier. Nowadays, these things are already done by AI. Okay, AI is already doing it for you. So, what is your role now? Your role is to work on system. Like for example, I'll take a very basic example here. Let's say today, if I have to build a web application, that has so many tech stacks. Okay, I can go with Angular, I can go with React, I can go with Vue, I can go with in backend, I can go with any database, SQL, no SQL, right? So hierarchical, any of the hierarchical databases. So that is where your skill is needed. Okay, and I totally empathize with freshers in this case, that for a senior dev or someone who is working in this field from a 5 6 years minimum, they still can go with that perspective, what could be the architecture, what could be the structure, right? But someone who is just starting out, it's difficult for them, because for them, they have spent already, it takes you almost 7 8 months to learn these burn any of the full stack development skills. And then on the top of that, you have to learn AI, and then on the top of that, it is expected you need to know data science, data structures, DSA. You need to know system design. You need to work like a senior developer. Okay, but then of course, like I mentioned earlier with the stats, like this happens every, I'll say, 4 5 years. Revolution comes in. This is demanded, like this was the average package that a person is getting. Now if you know this, now you'll get a higher package, and this is happening from a very longer time. Okay, this is not something which AI has bought. But of course, with AI, things has changed, but this is something which is happening from a longer time. Okay, so that's what is expected, that system design. You don't need to know, like if a bulk data is coming off from an API, how you will be handling it on the front end, right? From a fresher, also it is expected nowadays. Okay, so it has evolved, or I'll say replaced, in a way that traditionally, if you just build a CRUD app, you just create a simple boilerplate APIs, okay, or some pattern. It used to work for you, right? To get a job. But in today's time, you need to know the complete architecture, intelligence in terms of how you're going to, which tech stack, or something which is required from a senior dev. Now it is required from a fresher as well. Okay, so how you're preparing yourself, how skilled you are making yourself, that is very important. Okay, so that is changed. So you don't need to write the code. Even I myself, if you would ask me, if I have to prepare a material back in till 2024, so back in 18 till 2018 till 2024, I literally used to manually create everything. Of course, every PPT, everything, like a single word is MR, I have written it myself, right? That is how it was. But after 2024, of course, the way ChatGPT, other AI tools has evolved, there's so many nowadays. I also use AI too. Okay, too. But then again, where the difference comes, I know what I need to teach my students. I know what is the context, what I need in my app. Okay, so that is what I define. Okay, but of course remaining things, so my brain is going into designing, structuring, and maybe in terms of setting the context, right? But how it will be done, okay, like designing and everything, that is what AI is doing for me, like this PPT. Okay, now, these are some of the essential tools and technologies. Okay, like now we'll talk about in detail AI full stack. Okay, so firstly, what skills is needed? Okay, so front end is obviously going to be same. Okay, so but there is one layer added to it: AI tools. Okay, so if you're someone who is learning front end, obviously you'll start with front end HTML. Okay, you go with CSS, JS, ES6, and you pick any of the framework. I'll say React JS. Okay, and then any state management library you'll pick with. This is the basic front end. Plus, you're expected to learn some AI tool as well. Okay, like for example, you can go with Lovable. Durable is there. Okay, Emergent Labs is there. I've personally used all of them. You can go with Google Studio. Okay, so you have so many AI tools. So even you should go and actually check out how can you build these applications. Okay, with these AI tools. Okay. Okay. Now, next part of it is backend. Okay. Now, backend could be anything. Okay. So, backend, now there are, okay, this is just a small like spelling mistake. Ignore that. I'll fix it later. Okay. Now, backend, it depends. You learn Java. You know Java. You go with Spring Boot. Okay, you know Python, you go with Django. Okay. Again, you don't have to switch to, again, I've seen some students, asking, ma'am, should I switch from Node to Django because Python is very popular these days, or should I switch from Django to Node? You don't have to do that. Okay. You really don't have to. You, whatever just enhance your skill in that and just see how you can add AI to it. Okay. So, like, even if I talk about myself, I know Python, I know Java, but when it's come to web development, my skills are more towards Node and Express, right? I feel more comfortable developing, so I've kept it as same even during my trainings. Okay, now coming, so this is how this is front and back end will be same which you used to learn, but just learn some AI tools which will help you to work with back end as well. Okay, where you don't have to develop stuff from the scratch. The next thing is AI orchestration, vector databases, and deployment. That is where your AI has come. So deployment is obviously safe. You can deploy it on AWS. You can deploy it on Azure. To begin with, Vercel, Netlify, okay, Docker, Kubernetes. You can just like if you work with Azure, you will need Docker. Okay, so that is what we have. Now these are the two modules where you have to learn AI now. Okay, that is if you learn AI, you will get an edge. If you see very top mass recruiter companies in India, they are preferring you to know AI. Okay, and of course there are AI is also very vast, so you need to have a clear roadmap, like exactly what you need to know in AI. Okay, so first we will discuss that only today, exactly what you need to learn in AI. First of all, Python. Python is a must. Okay. So of course, like if I just take a simple example, this LangChain you see in a LangChain, you can work with Python also. LangChain you can work with JavaScript also. So there's LangChain.js and LangChain Python is also there. Okay. But again, if you have to build your career into AI, it's better you learn Python. Okay, because Python has a lot of libraries which makes your work easier, and Python is a must basically. Okay, so you learn about Python. Okay, you learn about pandas and NumPy. Okay, if you are from data science background, or or if you have read, you must have heard about pandas, NumPy. These are Python libraries basically. Okay, so first thing you need to learn is Python. If so, again, front end, back end module. I hope everyone is clear with these are the tech stack. In back end, if you know Java, you go with Spring Boot. Python with Django. You know JavaScript, you go with Node and Express. Okay, that is what we have. Now we are talking about AI module. Okay, like what you will be learning in AI. Okay, first thing is the Python. So Python, you need to learn all the programming fundamentals. Very simple. You start with variables, how to create variables, data types. Okay, and this programming fundamental is same in every programming language. Okay, you work with any programming language, you'll see the same topic. Okay, conditional statements, loops, okay, oops, okay. Then you will see indexing and slicing specifically in this Python. Okay, that is what you will learn. So once you learn all of it, your basic Python is done, and then you learn these few 2 to 3 libraries. Okay. So first thing you need to learn is Python. Second thing you need to learn is maths and stats. Okay, maths and stats, some students just leave it. Okay, but if you have to build a good career, okay, like it depends how far you want to go into this. Okay, but still, if you just have a basic idea of algebra, calculus, probability, it will really help you. But again, this is a topic you can skip if you want. In the beginning, you can skip if you want. Okay. Then you learn your web development. In web development, I told you HTML, CSS, JS. This is the order. Whatever I'm saying, it's the order. Okay, it's the same order you have to learn. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, ESX, any other framework. You work with Angular, you work with React, you work with Vue. Okay. Okay, and of course, one more thing I want to add here. If you're someone who work in India or want to build a career into this in India, you can go with JavaScript. But if you're someone who is living in Canada or USA or Australia, so there they use TypeScript. In India also people have companies have started adapting this TypeScript, but React with JavaScript and React with TypeScript both you can use. So it depends if you are someone who want to like I'm not sure like people where you guys are watching this video from, but I'm just mentioning if you are building a career, so it's better you learn TypeScript as well, especially if you live in any place out any country outside India. Okay, because they would prefer TypeScript as well. Okay, and then you go with any other state management libraries. Okay, that is what you will learn in front end. Okay, and then this is the whole idea. Okay. Then after that, once you learn all of it, okay, and of course backend also you will learn. Backend I've already said you work with Java, then you learn Spring Boot, you learn Python, go with Django, you know JavaScript, go with Node and Express. Okay, and any of the database, SQL, NoSQL, I will say learn both at least basic. You should learn both SQL plus NoSQL. Okay, NoSQL specifically MongoDB. Okay, so you guys have this much you need to know. Okay, after this you learn AI, like how to build AI engine. Okay, so you understand the terms like LLM models. Okay, then see about prompt engineering. Now prompt engineering is something people say everyone can do it, but actually not. Okay, because when you work with prompt engineering, you need to know the techniques like one shot technique, zero shot techniques like that. Then after that, there comes when you ask for the result hallucination, you need to know about these terminologies in prompt engineering. Okay, I'll see if I have some schedule. I'll try to keep a session on prompt engineering. Okay, so when I teach students prompt engineering, of course, like this is the basic where we start with Gen AI. Like we do the introduction and everything. What is Gen AI? Importance of it? How can you use it in your current tech stack that you work with? You can just integrate with that. You don't have to go and learn something from scratch. Okay, like you don't have to, like you're from mobile, you don't have to learn web and then do AI. You can just integrate AI in mobile development as well, right? So then first thing that we teach is prompt engineering only. Okay, so this master the chain of thought. Then you learn a lot of techniques over here. Okay, terminologies come where it can fail and how can you fix it. Okay, like that. Okay, then you need to understand the LLM models. Okay, and then orchestration is basically, let's say for example, LangChain is one of them. Okay, so what you do is you integrate, like for example, how will you integrate AI APIs. Okay, for example, like OpenAI, you can think of. Okay, I personally work with Gemini AI because that's totally free, and I have like a pro version of it, so it makes works easier for me. So you can go with Gemini AI API, okay, or OpenAI API, and Grok also you can go with. Okay, whichever works for you. Okay, so these are the AI APIs. Then you go and integrate and try to build a system because you have front end knowledge, you have React, you know how to bring things. Okay, and then you just learn to build these LLM models. You learn the fundamentals of it. You learn to build the models. You learn prompt engineering. You learn how to integrate this, land chain, land graph, or Crew AI. Okay, to build these systems. Okay, that is what you do. Okay, now I'll take one example here just to give you, I know these terms could be overwhelming if you are new to it. I'll give one basic app example so that you get a perspective like where AI can be used. Okay, I'll take a very basic example. Let's say I want to build a system, okay, automated system, that every day at 9 a.m. Okay, that every day at 9 a.m. Okay, a article is picked from a let's say a pool of articles from maybe a company can have an in-house pool of articles, or maybe it is picking from Wikipedia, or it can pick from LinkedIn. Okay, anywhere. Okay, it can pick from LinkedIn as well, and it can pick from Wikipedia, anywhere. So automatically I'll build a system where automatically at 9 a.m. it will pick a article for me, okay, from Wikipedia or LinkedIn, or a pool of article from my own company database. Okay, okay, I'll just write here pool of articles, and then after that what it will do, it will take that article. Okay, it will pass that article to any Gemini API or any AI API. Okay, I'll say Gemini API. Okay, and it will pass that article. It will pick that article. Okay, it will pick the article. I'll write here. Okay, pass it to Gemini API. Okay, Gemini API, what it will do? It will give me the like whatever you want. You want to give the title. I want to get the title. I want to get the author. I want to get the description. I want to define the body of it. Okay, and some images. Okay, plus some images. So this is what it will generate for me in my app. Okay, after that I want this data, this complete structure should be created, and this will go to my Telegram. Let's just, like, I mentioned I have a WhatsApp community group, just like that you have a Telegram channel, and that will go to Telegram channel every day at 9 a.m. Okay, and automatically it is all happening. I'm not doing anything. Okay, I so my work is going into building the system. Okay, that is what I was talking about, building the system. So you build the system, and this is happening automatically. Can there be a flaws and issues with it? Definitely it could be there. Sometimes there could, because Gemini API can make some mistake in spelling. Those things could be there, right? But with the time it will become better, and of course there is always the option of manual going and fixing it. Okay, so this is an app I myself have built it. That's why I'm just taking the example of it. I myself have tried building it. So you pick, article is picked. Okay, I'll repeat it. Article is picked. Then it's passed to I will be integrating Gemini API in my backend. Okay, then automatically it will generate. It will pick the topic. It will generate this content, and it will post to my Telegram channel every day. Okay, so that is how this system can be automated. Of course, there will be technologies, tools needed. Okay, some paid tools could also be needed. Okay, some free tools could also be, like this Telegram channel ID and everything. It's all free to use. Gemini 2.5 Flash is the model. It's free to use. So you don't. So the example I've taken, by the way, this is a free one. You can try it out. Okay, and automatically taking the article, that's also free. So this is what you're building. That is where your AI part will come in picture. Okay. So front end. So now you see the front end part is very simple. You can just ask any AI tool to build a React basic front end with tailwind CSS for you, right? So your effort is actually going in building the system. Okay, that is what building AI engine and system is here. I hope it's clear. Okay, with this example. Now, next thing, integrating it. So the example that I just took, it includes this as well, that you're including this, vector data. Just like you guys work with SQL, NoSQL. Okay. So whenever you have to work with GenAI, you work with vector databases. Okay. So where you work with Pinecone. Okay. You like I worked with Pinecone. Okay. You need to have knowledge of graphs. Then Chroma. Okay. These are some of the I'll say this RAG and vector databases related terminologies that you have here. Okay, so again, this is the basic. Taken an example and everything. So now here, this part is related to data. How you're handling the data here. Okay, like data ingestion will happen here. Like you collect the data and clean the documents. Then vector database will come in picture. Okay, so what is this basically? Your data will be, so let's say I have a data in the form of array of object. Let's say I have name, let's say Alina. Okay, I have age, let's say 20. Then I have salary. Okay, now how you're putting this data, okay, in the form of vector. So you're converting this data in the form of vector databases. Okay, because it's easy to retrieve the data from a vector. Like in ChatGPT, they are not doing like data in the form of array of object. Like a data is not stored like that. Data is stored in the form of vector databases. Okay, vectors. So that is how you are also storing your documents. Maybe you're building app of, like someone is uploading a PDF and then they're extracting the data. So the data that you're extracting and storing should be in the form of vector database. Because if you're going to put questions based on that, it is easy to retrieve a data from a vector database. Okay. That is how the like you have your data, you clean it up, convert it to vector. Okay, vectorization is what you do here. Then you go and retrieve the data. Retrieval is faster when it's come to vector databases. Okay, and then you just get a response. Okay, you can connect this example with exactly what you go and search on ChatGPT. You go and search, let's say, very simple. Let's say, I want to learn Python. Give me a set of topics. So you asked it, and then there's a huge databases in which their data is stored in the form of vector database, and it gives you a response. So for that, these steps are being involved. Like your what question you asked, the data. Okay, it retrieved and it gave you a response, and then based on response, you can take the action. Okay, so that is something which ChatGPT is doing in the backend. You can also do it. Okay, and further then this is GenAI related, that which I've just talked about. This is one part of it. Then further, if you learn GenAI and all, you can go with Agentic AI also. You can build AI agents also. So for example, code. If you have worked with you can work with codecs, integrate codecs in your VS Code. You can work with the agent. You can build your own AI agents also, and you can work with existing agents as well. Okay, that's the next part of it. Okay. Now, next is production ready AI system. Okay, like AI system design. Okay, like how you are, like I gave you uh, one problem statement, like I want to fetch article statement, then Gemini API will it. I have said a Gemini API, but it could be any AI API is giving me the complete article in this format, and then I'm posting it on Telegram channel. Okay, so now that is where your design system will come, like system design will come, right? How you're building it, how you are what tech stack you're picking to build it. Okay, how you are handling edge cases, how you are making it production ready in terms of, let's say this is a statement I've given, and let's say I built an application. It is used by 10 people, 20 people, right? But if it is supposed to used by lakhs of people, is it production ready? Is it can those can it handle that number of people or not? Okay, so that is where your system design knowledge is needed. Okay, in the AI. The next part of it is, of course, pipelines. Like if you work with DevOps, you work with if you work with DevOps, you must have worked with Azure or AWS. Okay, then you must have worked with CI/CD pipelines. So that is what you will manage through this LLM ops. Okay, then of course, like I said, you can work with vector databases. Okay, so that is what will come here. And my pen tab is not connected, I guess. It got disconnected just a moment. Okay, one second. Okay, just a moment. Okay, my system is froze. This happened, in last to last week. I was doing a session on AI, and this happened, PPT thing. Okay, and I had to cancel. It was YouTube live only. Then I had to cancel it twice, by the way. Okay, I'll open it, but I'll not open it in slideshow. I'll just open it normally. And then I had to cancel that same YouTube live twice. And even if any one of you did it, I did it like for half an hour, and then I had to cancel it. And then I rescheduled it, and again it got cancelled. Okay, we were here. I'll just explain it from the same slide. Okay, I'll not open it in a slideshow, otherwise my system is hanging for some reason. Okay, all right. Now coming to the salary benchmark. So I hope you guys got the clarity, like what you need to learn in terms of complete roadmap. Like need to know front end, back end, AI. Now AI has a lot of part. You go with GenAI, you go with AI agents. But even if you go with anything, you need to learn about RAG, vector databases, prompt engineering. Okay, any of this orchestration like LangChain, LangGraph, these you need to learn. Okay, and what type of apps you build, I just took an example. So that Telegram channel one. Okay, that is what you will. Okay, now coming to the salary benchmark, that is important. Okay, so if you learn AI full stack, like I told you, you guys will have an edge. Like someone who is earning 10 to, let's say, 11 NP on learning, I will not even say 10 to 12 in India right now. It's literally 8 to 9. Okay, after learning it, you will literally get 80 to 20 lakh LPA lakh package, okay, per annum, literally after learning AI. Okay, you learn AI, Gen AI integration, AI agents, agentic AI, anything. Okay, but of course you have to be AI builder. That I want to add, not just by AI user. Okay, and one more thing, companies are using, like I have my friends working in IT. Majorly, I have my friends working in IT only. Okay, so keep talking to them just to understand how AI, just to understand the market better of IT. So they keep saying, like everyone is using AI. Everyone, all of the companies are providing their GitHub Copilot or Claude or Codex, some AI paid, access to the AI tools. So they all are using it. Okay, so it's important that you understand that it is not just building, but of course using AI and making the best out of it is also extremely important. Okay, so that part is also important in this. Okay. Now coming to the salary, just a overview. Okay, so 0 to 3 year will have easily this much of package. Okay, it's written in K. Okay, so I'll just put it in a simple words for you guys. If you are a junior level, easily you can get 5 LPA and above. Okay, and again you're a good AI engineer. I'll put it that way. Okay, mid level easily you'll get 20 LPA plus. Okay, senior will get like easily you'll get around 35 LPA plus. Okay, and lead and principal is obviously 50 and above. Okay, and someone who is watching this video outside India, I've already put it in like a K values. Okay, so that is how it is, and demand is huge. Okay, for this, and again, don't think that AI will. Of course, AI is going to lose your job, and I give you the perspective as well in this slide. Right, it will, where it will lose your, like where you can lose your job is this part where you are manually writing the code in 2026. It's not needed. Okay, so where you should be putting efforts, your effort should go here. Okay, learning the system, building the AI, and how you can solve the problem with AI. That is another perspective you can have. Okay, but if you're someone who is no basic, just building, today's time also building how to get a data from an API for employee data, right? Of course, you need to know that, but then that is something AI can also do. So you just need to know, you just need to learn that. But how you can solve this issue or some problem with AI, that is where edge will come. Okay, so your future starts here. I hope you like this roadmap. Okay. Of course, you guys can just go read. Okay, read more about it. Of course, and again, someone would think like, should I learn it on my own or should I go with a structured learning system? Okay, I personally prefer guiding this to students. If you are someone who is really want to go with this and just not just like sake of trying but really want to go with this, it's better you go with a good edtech company and a structured learning, because then it gives you a lot of perspective. Your hassle of finding the topics, hassle of learning things, where your things will become easier for you. But of course, I really appreciate who those are self-taught learner. Even I myself is a self-taught learner. I've learned all the tech stack, front end, back end, Gen AI on my own. Okay, so it's absolutely fine if you someone who is self-motivated, like a self-motivated, like you don't need anyone to motivate you. You are a very self-motivated person, and can do things on their own. Definitely, you can go with self-taught learning, and then you can. There are a lot of good resources. Like I have in my book, you guys can check out on my website on, if someone is a self-taught learner, self-taught developer, if they are, they can go and practice MERN plus Gen AI on their own through that material. Okay, it's on my website, you guys can check it out. But yes, if you're someone who need motivation time to time, and someone who's a bit of impulsive and very much like need a direction, right, they should go with the structured learning. Okay, that is how I would see. But again, I will say I myself have learned all the tech stack on my own. Okay, everything. I started my career with development. Like I started my career as a software engineer, then kind of switched into trainings, and but still I keep myself connected to I take interviews for the IT companies and all. So I still keep myself updated with everything what is happening. Okay, so that is also important. No matter you're in IT or edtech, you have to be updated. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be giving you guys this PPT and this notes, and ignore my head handwriting. I hope it's clear. At least if you watch the video, you know what I've written here. Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, and of course you guys can join the community, and probably Sunday we'll have another session where I'll be building some AI automated application. Okay, that will give you a lot of perspective. Also, just post on the comments if you watch it later. Anything in Gen AI, prompt engineering, front end, back end, React, okay, Node Express, anything you want to learn. Okay, I'll be happy to teach here for free. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Okay. See you guys in the next live. Thank you. Bye.